Hello, folks. Michael Huggins here, coming to you live from my Tennessee cabin on top of a mountain. I am staying safe and away from people. And today we are doing what we call our Zoom Up. It's our meetup on Zoom. And this is our next best thing to getting together every day. We have an amazing real estate investor community here, and we have so many stories to share with you. So we want you to get to know who these people are, how they're using our program and system to radically change their lives. I'm joined today by my co-host, Keely Austin out in Phoenix. What's up, Keely? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. We got an amazing story today. I'm sure you know a lot more about our guest, seeing as how you guys are in the same city, getting to work together. But folks, for those of you who are joining us for the first time or you're catching the recording, there are several of these videos now. We have dozens of them, soon to be hundreds. I'm going to keep working, bringing you these amazing stories, because if you get these examples of how people are changing their lives, they're not settling for mediocrity. Well, heck, what can be possible in your life if you stop settling for mediocrity? There's a lot more behind the scenes. So after this video, you're going to want to get back with the person that sent you here so that you can get the other videos, the info sessions, so you can find in detail who we are, what we do, and how you can link arms with us. Also, we got a big workshop coming up next Saturday on creative acquisitions and how you can buy property with little to no money out of pocket. You do need to create a win-win and learn how it works. But real estate has a ton of opportunity. It is also risky. So if you are not prepared or educated, you could lose a lot of money. And so I just want to get that out there. It is risky, just like anything is risky. Okay, so now for our guest for today. When I first met her, she was not necessarily that interested. Like most people, they're like, real estate, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. And so I'm going to let her share a little bit of her story. Keely, do you want to add anything about our guest today before we bring her out?
Yeah, sure. When I first met Amanda, it was on a trip out to Vegas, actually. I had never met any of these people that I went to Vegas with, but Amanda was there, and it was really to learn about different opportunities. So Amanda just welcomed me with warm arms, and something that I really love about her is just her ability to talk to people. I don't think I've ever told her this, but I was very nervous getting into real estate investing because I was nervous to talk to people and to have those conversations. And she definitely helped me feel a lot more confident and comfortable talking to people. So I appreciate that about you, Amanda.
Yeah, now she's turned that skill into something amazing in this real estate empire that her and her husband are building. So we're really excited for her to come out and share her story. So everybody give a warm welcome to Miss Amanda Miller.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was definitely an epic trip that we had. And I'm grateful that the idea came to me and we orchestrated it along with Michael's beautiful wife. So that was really fun and a good memory that we all had going down there. And yeah, it's cool. I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak with you. I've actually never never done one here on this. So I've done it in front of people, but not through the Zoom. So I appreciate that opportunity to share. So my story really is about yeah. So like Michael said, my husband and I have been doing this actually for real estate investing for about 5 years. And where it all started was one day he came home and said, I want to do real estate investing. And I said, okay, that's fine. And he said, I found a community of investors and I really want to participate with them. And I was really hesitant and I really didn't really want him to do it, but I knew what he was doing, he wasn't happy at. So I said, okay, fine, go ahead and do it. Good luck, and I was like the wife that was like, I support you kind of, but not really. So, and I just went back to work. And at the time we had a small young boy who I would take back and forth to work, and I would drop him off at the babysitter and I would do all of that. And, I loved my job. I loved the people I worked with. And it was just a great environment. I was administrative assistant for a concrete company. And I just really enjoyed what I was doing. But it came to the point where I knew that I didn't want to keep leaving my son at the babysitter's or taking him to daycare as he grew older. So there was a point where we ended up getting involved, and we were able to start learning about how real estate investing could change our lives. Somebody made a comment to me when we were looking at this, and they said, you know, if you could make $20,000 on one deal, what would that do for you? And that's when I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a minimum of 20, that's easy, right? So that's when I was really like, yeah, I want to pursue this and learn more about it. So we jumped in, we started participating with our community, and I'm a people person, so I love to get to know people and relationships and all that kind of stuff. So I just love the network aspect of it. And as I was doing that and building our business, I was able to quit my job and start working from home more. And I'm thankful for that, because hindsight, that was my one baby is my only baby that I had and that I was able to have. Looking back, he's 8 now, but looking back, I'm thankful that I was able to be home with him, because I would have missed a lot of those little milestones. So many of you, if your mothers, know how it is to be there when they take their first steps, or they crawl, or they learn their eyes and nose and ears, or if they're walking, just all those kinds of things. So I was really excited that I was able to have that opportunity to stay home with him and watch him grow. And that really gave us the ability and flexibility to do the things that we wanted to create. So since quitting my job and being able to be home with my son, we've really ramped up our real estate investing every year. It just gets better. We started in Utah, and what was nice is we had the flexibility to kind of move around. We moved to California for a couple months, and my son was 3, and we lived with Grandpa for a little bit, and Grandpa was 90, so that didn't go over well. So we ended up moving to Phoenix to be closer to my husband's family, and it was probably one of the best things that we did. And so while we did that, we networked with other people here that were a part of the real estate community. And what we've built in the last 5 years is a local community of 200 investors that are doing this. And now that we're all online, we have grown a lot more. So we started out just learning how to buy properties creatively. That's something that we really wanted to learn and focus on, was mostly because we didn't want to have to use our own money. So we learned to have the right conversations with people, how to raise private capital that we could utilize and do fix and flips. So we would take an acquisition and we would decide, are we going to fix and flip this property, or are we going to wholesale this property? Some of them we actually kept for rentals. So right now we only have 2 rentals, but that's sufficient enough. We're always on the lookout for more. But we do fix and flips and wholesales. So it just kind of depends on the transaction that we're doing with them. But it really creates the kind of income that we like. And we've been truly blessed to do that. And it's been fun. And so it's fun. We bring our son along, and now he's able to, he helps a little bit. But, it's nice because we don't have to focus on having a job, relying on a job every day, right? And hoping that our job isn't eliminated. When we got started too, it took us a little bit of time, but really we knew it was something we wanted, and so we just kept going. So I think that's the cool thing about real estate investing is, like, it's always there, as long as you know how to have the right conversations, talk to the right kind of people, because there's such an opportunity and a win-win situation that's going on. And especially right now, what's happening, there's a lot of opportunity that's going to be created here in the next year or so, is my belief. And I'm excited to be able to capitalize on some of that too. So yeah,
I
that's a
got a
little bit
question.
about me and what I've been up to.
Okay, so what was it like when, because you said you liked your job, but you didn't like that you had to keep dropping your baby off. What was it like when you quit? Like, was it a quick thing? Was it a struggle mentally, or were you like, you know what, I see a way out and I'm out? What was that like?
Yeah, I gave my notice, and I let them know that I wanted to stop working. And at first it was kind of hard, but I just knew I just wasn't comfortable just being gone all day, or even if I was only working 4 or 5 hours a day. I just wanted to be home with my kid, you know? So it wasn't really a big struggle, you know. But at the same time, I'm a loyal person. So I only have probably at that time I only had like 3 jobs I ever did in my whole life. And I was, how old was I? 30, I think I was 32 at that time. So
Okay.
I stick with my jobs. I don't quit, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about your very first deal.
My very first deal. Okay, so my very first deal actually was in California. And we did everything wrong. We bought with hard money. Now you can use hard money, but we over leveraged. So we bought 2 properties. We over leveraged on that. We ended up wholesaling 1 property off, and it was fine, just because we were using our own money on these properties, because I received an inheritance from a sale on my family cabin. And so we were able to use part of that for the transaction. Now we did fine on the transaction. We made only like 12 grand. It took us forever, and we were fine, you know. But would we ever do that again? No. So the things that we really, that's why when we came back in and we moved to Phoenix, we were like, we are buying with a creative solution and we're going to figure this out. And so when we figured that out, it was like, oh yeah, this is easy.
So tell us about I remember you did like a land deal or something. You sent out some letters, right?
Yeah, I
Stuff
forget
like
about that one,
that.
but that's a good one. Yeah, so we've got this piece of property in Arizona called, it's up in Concho, and it's got water and power, and it was designed as this place to be like the new Palm Springs, is what it was sold to be to these people, right? And it was on a golf course, and this was their plan to develop it. Well, we sent a letter because we saw that there was some tax stuff, and it looked like they hadn't been paying on it. Maybe they're interested in selling.
So
So we
you
wrote
were,
them a letter.
let me interrupt a little. So you were taught how to find people that were delinquent in one area, either on taxes or something else, and so you had an idea that they would be open to selling.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so we made an offer. And at first the offer was going to be, I think the offer was going to be like $600. And my dad was visiting us, and my husband said, I'm going to offer this, you know. And my dad was like, are you kidding me? They're not going to say yes. So stubbornness of my husband, he's like, oh, fine. I'm going to offer them 400. And just to see. Well, they accepted it. They
Now, how
accepted
much
it.
land was it?
It's I think it's only like a quarter of an acre. So that's not a lot, but it's enough. And right now people are actually building on it now. And that was like 5 years ago that happened. So we just paid the taxes still on it. And some people are putting these little modular homes on it. So I mean, it's, you know, it's nothing super fancy, but
You
it's
got a
nice.
deal. You got a piece of property free and clear for $400 that has power and water on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And down the road, a few months later, is when we picked up our first subject to property. It's
okay.
about half an hour like west of it.
So how many deals have you done now?
Uh, quite a few. I don't have a number. It's at least 20 maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
I've lost track.
And how
I
long
lost
did it
track.
take you to do your first one from the time we met to
Oh,
doing your
it took about 2 years. And the time we met, it was different. Like real estate wasn't a thing because right, we met kind of when the crash had happened and things were slow. So it took us a little bit of time, but that's also because we didn't stay plugged in. We went back to our regular lives and just kind of, you know, and that happens, right?
you had a little bit of doubt, like, I don't know if this is gonna work for me,
Yeah.
but we have our community here, and you kept just hearing more stories and
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing. When I wouldn't show up, I would kind of resort back to my old ways. But then when I would show up, there was like that one person that was like focused, right? And they were doing it. And I would sit in there and I'd be like, oh, that is what we're supposed to be doing. We need to be like them. So then I would get like refired up and be like, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing this. So my biggest thing is if you're not showing up, good luck. Because it just doesn't, you don't remember what you're trying to do, you get a little off track.
wow. So now you've done over 20 deals. Do you have any rentals?
Yeah, we have 2 rentals. So that one property that was close up to the land deal is a rental. And we do that one and it cash flows $425 a month, but it has $125,000 of equity. And
Wow.
we bought that house for, I believe we paid 10 grand for that house. So we just caught him back up onto his mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got $125,000 of equity in that property. And then our second property is down in Casa Grande and it's like a manufactured home. And it's got, let's see, I think it's got about $60,000 of equity too. So
Man.
we've had a renter in it and they've been paying that down. And that one we cash flow, I think it's like 375. So not a lot of cash flow, but there's a lot of equity, right?
Right. So you got over in just 2 properties, 200,000 in equity and about $800 a month in cash flow.
Yeah.
And so you're bringing in about $10,000 a year just off those 2 properties.
Mhm.
And so, wow, that is awesome. And are you teaching your kid about real estate investing or how are those conversations going? Because I'm sure he's like, well, mom, like, why don't you have a job? All my other friends have jobs or their parents have jobs. What's that like talking to him?
Yeah, that's actually a really fun conversation. So I talk to him about, I'm able to come pick you up from school because I'm not at work. I'm able to drop you off at school because I'm not at work. But he's funny because he'll be like, Mom, are we gonna go see our property tour friends?
That's
So
awesome.
he knows us as he knows my friends, my crew that we like hang out with are my property tour friends.
Nice.
So but actually the really cool thing was he was having a conversation with his cousin and his cousin was like, well, we can't do that because we can't move yet because we have to make more money or something like that. And my kid was like, oh, well, you should just buy some real estate and sell it and that will be fine.
You got to keep it as simple as a child sometimes, right? Just buy some real estate and sell it and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I hope if he wants to go to college, that's great. I'm not going to defer him from that, but I know there's other options than just going to school. So sometimes it's a little hard for me to keep him on track with school and being consistent because I just, I just know there's other things. I don't think there's a box to fit every child in.
Yeah.
He's very creative.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a
So-
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I love what you said about your first deal and how you had a lot of challenges. You said you did everything wrong, but at the same time, you didn't let that slow you down. You guys learned from it and you said, this is what we're not going to do going forward. So I really love that you said that. And then about your rentals, I know that Casa Grande is, what is it, about 2 hours away?
Uh-huh.
So do you guys ever have to go out there, or do you kind of have it set up? Because I know you can have rentals across the country and never have to see it to manage it. What do you guys do as far as management goes with your rentals?
Yeah. So just because we only own 2, we just have to, we just manage them ourselves. It's not a big thing for us. So we had a really good tenant in there for like 3 years, and he was fine. He just moved out. So we just have to spruce up the property a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a new renter in there. So
Nice.
yeah, I think when you get like, 6 or 7, at that point, then you probably want to get a management company, which is nice, because then you're hands off.
What's the biggest check you've made?
The biggest check we made, we call it our Columbine property. We made $42,000 on that property. It was a fix and flip. Yeah, and actually it was kind of cool, because we were like, we were going all over the valley, driving here and there, and then my husband had a phone call with a coach, and he was like, I just want you to stay focused in these parameters. So he did that, and like the next week he went out, found the house that he was going to go to, and he knocked on the door and spoke to the gentleman there. And so anyways, he ended up wanting to sell. So it was.
Well, was there a big sign in the yard or what?
No. The house was kind of in a disarray, but he was just a guy that I think he was getting divorced. He was behind on his mortgage, and we just knew how to search for those kind of properties, what to look for. So then we just made the contact with actually going over there and speaking to him. And, if you can relate to the person, and they're usually willing to walk away, because it'll give them a peace of mind, and they're able to receive some, we always give them a little bit of cash to move if they want.
Wow. So 42,000. What were you making at your job?
25.
All right.
Yeah, I was making
Cool.
25,000.
25,000.
And I love my job.
Would you ever go back to that old way?
No, I wouldn't. I think when you're out of it for so long, it's just too hard, because you start to have your own time freedom, and you start to be able to do your, do different things, right? You're able to do what you want when you want. It's nice.
You still got to work at it though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it hasn't come easy, but the thing is if you don't give up, then you're going somewhere, and it's nice, because we really like connection and community. And so I just feel like we're so built on this amazing community where there's just so many resources where we can tap into whatever we need or questions we have. We can do that. When we lived in California, it was nice too. We actually lived right by one of our team's mentors, and so he really helped us out and guided us too. So it's just really nice, the network.
Yeah, folks, we have a huge nationwide network of over 25,000 people. So pretty much whatever city you're in or state you're in, we can connect you with resources like Amanda was sharing here. Wow, what a cool story. So going from not knowing what the heck you're doing, it's your crazy husband's idea, and you got a job and a baby. Do I remember correctly, were you taking your baby to work?
Yeah. So I would take him to work for like an hour or two, and then I would bring him back home, and they wired me in so I could work from home a little bit. But I was only able to it was hard, right? To have your kid, and you had to like be on time clock, on that whole time clock thing, and work from home. So I was only able to do like 2 hours at home. I couldn't do the full 8 hours. It just wasn't possible.
Babies don't work on a schedule.
No. No, they don't. You know that. No, they don't.
I know that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, cool. Well, thank you very much. Anything else, Keely, you want to ask our guest before we wrap it up for today? We are almost out of time.
No other questions. Just want to tell Amanda that I love her and we need to get together soon.
Yes, very
Wonderful.
soon. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here and taking the time. We're rooting for you, cheering for you, and we're excited to hear about your future successes and the inspiration that you brought to our group today. I know a lot of people are sitting there probably wondering, can I do this? Is this for me? And with your story and what you shared with people, I think they can start to see a path. So thank you very much. And everybody, we have, like I said, a ton of other videos around this. So go back with the person that invited you here and say, hey, I want to see some other videos. And I also want the info session, right? Who are you? What is it like to work with you? How do I get involved? Because we do have a series of live videos you can attend or the recordings, just depending on your schedule. Get the information. You do not have to settle for mediocrity if you don't want to. And one other plug I want to make is next Saturday, December 12th, we are having a big workshop on creative acquisitions. You heard Amanda say that she got some property subject to and that she was taking over people's mortgages and came out of pocket a couple $100 for some properties. So if you want to learn how she's doing it, that workshop that we're going to be doing will break down detail by detail how it works. The man who's running it has done over 200 of these transactions. And but it is by invitation only. It is not open to the public. So you do want to get back with the person that invited you here so that you can get that private registration link, tell them that you want to be involved. And then when you're there on that Saturday, pay attention, all the way pay attention. Okay. Because I've used what he's taught me to also do some other deals. And it's a game changer. If you stay focused, stay committed, join a community that has your back and is focused around education and the proper way of doing business, you're going to be just fine. So thanks again, Amanda. Congratulations to you and your husband and your lovely son. And thanks for being our guest today. And everybody else, have a fantastic day. Go kick some butt, take some names, and go do some deals. Bye, everyone.